Good morning and welcome to your Partner in Success Radio. I am your host, Denise Griffitts, and this podcast has been bringing you conversations with authors, entrepreneurs, mentors, and business leaders for more than 17 years. And we are honored to be ranked in the top 1.5% of podcasts worldwide. And honestly, it's because I have the best and the most fascinating guests. And today our topic is from burnout to purpose, how Nichole Daher built success on the spectrum. I find this fascinating, and I know you will as well. And today's episode of Your Partner in Success Radio is sponsored by Roberta Fernandez. She's an integrative emotional intelligence trainer and hypnotist, and she is the creator of the Conscious Napping app. I use it a lot. If your days ever feel overwhelming, this app is a very powerful tool that will help you reset in just a few minutes. And she guides you through calming visualizations. I can't talk today. Designed to ease stress, improve focus, support better sleep. That's what I use it for, and more. So, with over 100, sorry, I lost my place, sessions available in both English and Spanish, there's something for everyone. Learn more at robertafernandez.com, conscious napping, and tell her I sent you. So today on Your Partner in Success Radio, my guest is Nichole Daher. She is the founder of Success on the Spectrum, and it's the first ABA therapy franchise in the United States. Did I mention I find this fascinating? I really do. Now, Nichole's journey began as an autism mom searching for help for her own child. And faced with long wait lists and limited options, she turned that challenge into purpose, and she built a nationwide network of therapy centers grounded in transparency, evidence-based methods, and parent involvement. And I think that's probably the most important thing. Through Success on the Spectrum, Nichole is not only helping families across the care they need, but also empowering franchise owners to move beyond burnout and build something that truly makes a difference. Good morning, Nichole. I am so happy you are here today.
Oh, Denise, it is my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And may I say to anyone who is listening, whatever platform you're listening on, please give this woman 5 stars. The work that she does is incredible. The stories that we hear are amazing. And I just applaud you for what you do.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Most podcasters tend to think we're invisible. We're really not, but we think we are. And when I hear something like that, that just makes my heart beat a little faster. So thank you. But listen, and when I mentioned I was fascinated by you and your story, for those who might be new to your story, as I was, because I knew nothing about this topic at all, could you share a little bit about the work that you're doing with Success on the Spectrum and what inspired you to launch this mission? And I know that's kind of a double barrel question.
Oh, of course, but I'll start at the beginning. So I have no experience with children with autism prior to this. And it's important for everybody to realize how prevalent autism is, and it's all around us. So even if it doesn't affect you directly, most people are surprised to find that 1 in 31 children will be diagnosed with autism before they turn 8 years old in the United States. And so, statistically, if your child is in a classroom of 30 kids, one of them will have autism. So it's very, very common. And when I became a stepmother in 2014, my little 5 year old stepdaughter, had autism. And whenever you're diagnosed, the doctors always recommend that you join ABA therapy, and that stands for Applied Behavior Analysis. And essentially, it's a behavior modification program that uses nonverbal teaching methods to teach kids new skills that they may not have and to reduce problem behavior such as tantrums or aggressive episodes. This ABA therapy is very effective. It's very based in science, and it rocked my world. This little girl that I became mother to learned how to talk. She learned how to make eye contact. Her tantrums reduced. Hallelujah. Our lives were a little bit easier. She made her first friend. They taught her how to read, how to write, how to tell stories, use her imagination. And it really transformed this child from this angry little monster into a person that was functional. And I could finally imagine her being able to live a normal life. However, when she turned 7, her ABA therapy clinic told me, "Congratulations, she's completed the program." And I'm like, "What?
Well,
What are you
yeah,
talking?
I just said
What,
what with you
what
at
are
the
you
same
talking about?
time.
You don't grow out of autism. What do you mean you can't grow out of the treatment?" And they told me that they only serve children up to age 7.
Why?
Isn't that the question, Denise? Isn't that the
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
So, through my research, I've discovered that over 80% of ABA clinics that exist in the country only serve up to age 7. It's, I think, a combination of the little ones are cuter and easier, the older ones are bigger, stronger, and more difficult. And they just want to pass these kids off to the school district and say,
Oh,
"Here you go, your problem now. We don't
yeah,
have to
that
pay for
makes
this anymore."
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that.
And there were a few places, because I live in Houston, Texas, we're the medical capital of the country. We have more hospitals per capita than any other city. So I thought, surely here we're in the right place to find her help. And the few places I found that did accept kids over 7 had 6-month waiting lists, 1 year waiting lists, 2 year waiting lists. And I went, oh my God, this is such a waste of time. She's going to regress. We're going to lose all this progress that we've made. And God bless Texas, our school system is terrible. And I was not about to throw her into the public school system. And so I founded Success on the Spectrum, one little itty bitty tiny clinic that was just going to be a little side job for me, just for her, nothing else. It wasn't going to be a big thing. And I quickly discovered I wasn't the only mama looking for this. And when I announced on Facebook one day that I was going to start my own thing and my daughter was 7, and maybe could I get a few more people to help me, bear the cost of this behavior analyst, I got an overwhelming response. So I opened my first clinic, really just for my daughter. And then I opened a second clinic to accommodate the large number of mamas that were crying on the phone, begging me to let their children into the program as well. And it became this problem that I couldn't fix by myself anymore. One person cannot solve this overwhelming number of children that don't have access to the care that they need to live good lives. And so I did something very brave. I franchised my business. And now, instead of running my own clinics myself, I teach aspiring entrepreneurs how to open and run their own ABA therapy clinic. And presently, we have over 78 locations across 20 different states.
And see, that was going to be one of my next questions because I don't know what a clinic looks like. I'll get you to describe that to me rather. But when you said Houston, I thought, okay, Houston's huge, but not every autistic family child is in Houston. So I'm assuming, and this is, you can correct me if you need to, but I'm assuming that the children need to go into the clinic. They need to physically be present at least part of the time. Is that correct?
ABA therapy can be delivered in home, but the clinic
Okay.
is a far more effective environment because when you're trying to teach a kid to get into a school like routine in the hopes of eventually transitioning them when they're ready, they need to be accustomed to getting dressed, leaving the house, being away from mom for 8 hours a day, and eating their lunch out of a lunchbox. That routine is very good for them. But most of what we teach them is social skills, how to interact with their peers, how to play verbal language and reciprocal language. And that takes a lot of practice, and you can't easily practice conversations with in your own home with no other kids around. So the clinic setting presents a school-like environment with the possibility of interaction with their peers multiple times throughout the day. So the clinic is the best fit for most children.
See, that's what I was envisioning without actually knowing. But so when you franchised it, you then opened it up to a whole new world in different states.
It
That
was
was
pretty.
brilliant, by the way.
I was so scared because when no one else is doing it, you think
Right.
I'm either a genius or I'm stupid and everybody else knows something that I don't.
No, you're a genius. I think this is brilliant. I mean, once, you and I have talked and we had our pre-interview and talked, and I took a lot of notes, and then I did a deep dive into what it is that you do. And all I could say was, oh my God, this is so needed and it is so smart. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And you're right. It's so needed. The number of children being diagnosed with autism is increasing and increasing and increasing every year. And the number of clinics that are opening cannot keep up. The demand still is huge. And every single clinic that I have, and we have 78, all of them, not one exception, has a waiting list of kids. And it's just good for business, but heartbreaking for the parents that are so desperate and the kids that could benefit so much from having ABA therapy at a young age.
Honestly, I am seriously impressed, and that's not something I say lightly at all. Can you share a pivotal moment when you realized that you needed to build something different in the autism care space? Not that you were scared, not that you were worried, when you just knew that you had to do it.
It kind of came out of a defiant moment. It's not probably what you
Aha.
think, but
See, now you're talking my language. I
uh,
can't do what?
a little,
Watch me.
it's exactly what happened. When I started this company, I was 28 years old. And I think a lot of people underestimated what I could do. This industry did not have franchising, it didn't exist. And so it felt very out of reach. It felt very impossible to the average person. Um, and like I said, it's not rocket science. I could figure it out. Like if somebody else can do it, I can do it, but nobody else is doing it. And my husband at the time had this big wig lawyer friend that, was God's gift to earth, of course. And he came
Sorry.
over. No, it's you're correct. He came over for dinner one day and I said, I'm thinking of franchising my business. And he said, oh, that's so cute. And that really
Oh,
just burned
oh,
me. I mean, I could have punched him in the throat. Really, I could have.
oh, that's when you need a fork in your hand.
And yeah, and he made me feel like, he didn't say the words, but if he could have patted my head and said, oh, cute little doctor's house, doctor's wife, little housewife wants a hobby. That's what I felt like he was doing to me.
Oh, he was.
And I just, in my head, I went, I'm going to make you eat those words. And
I
so
like
half,
your attitude.
thank you. But, you start out doing it for your daughter to meet your own needs, right? And then it grew into, wow, it feels just as good helping other kids as it is helping my own. I'm watching these other kids say their first words and make their first friend and use the potty by themselves for the first time. And you relive all of those moments that brought you so much joy and pride in your life. And it feels just as good watching them do it. So now you're helping these other kids. And as a franchisor, I'm also helping these entrepreneurs that were underestimated, these women who haven't even worked in 10 years, maybe because they were at home raising kids, open their own business and get the same satisfaction, the same job satisfaction that I get with having work life balance, running their own business. They have their financial stability. So now I'm spread across this what feels better, helping the kids or helping the CEOs. It's such a win-win.
Oh, it has to be. How I've got so many questions. I'm probably going to stumble over my own tongue. Can you share some of the outcomes or success stories that you feel best illustrate the impact that success on the spectrum has made for the families and the franchisors?
Of course. My favorite story to tell is one little boy that was with us for a while. He was 9 years old when he came to us, which is pretty old because usually when you start ABA therapy, you want 2, 3 years old. So he started pretty late and he was profoundly autistic. and had never spoken a word in his life. If you would speak to him, he would never look in your direction. He would flap his hands. He was always drooling. There was no behavior that came out of him to let you believe that he understood what was happening around him. And this little boy, one day, I was talking to someone else, one of the other staff members in front of him. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I have to throw this away." And I continued talking, and he got up out of his chair and he took that paper out of my hand and he put it in the trash and he went and sat back down. I'm like, this kid knows exactly what we're saying. He's just not behaving in a way that we expect.
Aha.
And so we stopped playing his little game of let him sit around and play and learn his ABCs with the preschoolers. We just assumed that he was functioning at a 9-year-old level, but trapped inside of his own brain. And we bought this really colorful keyboard with all these LED lights, and he loved it. And we taught him how to type. And this child did not type words, he did not type sentences. Stories came out of this kid, full blown writing books. I mean, he understood everything around him, and no one treated him as if he did. He was treated as if he was mentally retarded for all
So
intents and purposes.
I'm thinking of coma patients that they'll come out of it and swear they heard everything. So be careful around patients. But,
Yeah.
you know, and I've actually had a friend who did do that. He was in a coma for about 4 years and he heard us. He heard
Yeah.
it. He
It's
was mad
amazing.
at some of us, but it wasn't me. But, honestly, so what I'm hearing from you, Nicole, is this child was absorbing everything, but
Mhm.
he could not communicate it.
That's right. And
Okay.
he no longer is in ABA therapy. He is in school. I follow his mom on Facebook and I see pictures of him in high school, about to graduate,
Oh,
and just still drooling a little bit, still looking around, but is functioning. And honestly, he could maybe not have a customer facing job, but he can do work and support himself. Where before all this happened, we thought he was going to be in a nursing home his whole life.
oh God.
And it changed not just his life, his whole family. I mean, this whole support system that thought he would be dependent forever. Now they don't have to worry about that.
So your hope for him or your expectations of him and children like him are that they can figure out with your help and with training and with impact from what you're doing, how to function in a world that doesn't really welcome them, but they can still do it.
Perfectly said. They
Okay.
will always be different. There will always be something about them that is not the same as a neurotypical person, but we can teach them enough skills to help them function in the world. A lot of ABA critics, I guess I should say, I want to say haters, will say that we're trying to make kids behave in a certain way to make them robotic. We're trying to make them into a different person so they fit in. And that's not it at all. I want them to function somehow to be as independent as possible as an adult.
And function in their what feels right for them. We're all made differently, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, my brother died about 3 years ago. He had a double lung transplant, and on his eighth year, he said, "I'm done. I can't do it anymore."
Oh,
But we started having conversations because we knew he was going to die soon. And we realized how very different we were and how we could view the same exact happening in such different eyes. And that's when I started paying attention to other people more carefully than I already did. We're all so different, and we need to celebrate that.
I completely agree. And what better way to celebrate life than to expand all of your energy into our future generation, into children?
Absolutely. Oh God, yeah. These days, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. And look, I'm with you on schools. If you can homeschool, I think you should. I would never, if I had children, I would never put them in the hands of the government, ever. It just would not happen. And so,
I think that's perfectly fair.
and I wouldn't even let my dog go to doggy daycare. I'm going to take care of her. But what you're talking about here is so fascinating to me. We're talking about, the impact that you're having with families, which I think is lovely. But how about, let's go back to you talking about your CEOs. How about your franchise owners? What kind of success stories that really stand out to you from them?
There are so many good ones. And I must say, and I'm very proud of this number, but 25% of our current franchisees are autism parents, just like me.
Well, I figured they must be.
25%. And so
Yeah.
not only did they get the stability in services that they needed for their own child, they're also helping other children. But now they have this source of income that also supports their own family. And our clinics are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, same as school. And these banker hours gives these moms the ability to be both a mom and a CEO. You can be a mom and have a career at the same time, because the work life balance with a business that works the same hours as your child's school, it really fits into family life. And so I've seen these, my favorite success stories are the moms that have been at home for years. You can't get a job because you're constantly caring for this special needs child, and you think that you've given up everything in your life for your kid, which most are happy to do. But when you find a business like this that fits in so perfectly with family life, with that assists you. I mean, it's great you have the financial stability. It's great that you work the hours and the flexibility that you need to take care of your kid, but you also have 20 highly trained babysitters working for you. Like, what a combination to complete the perfect fulfilled life that they never thought they could have again because of their child's special needs.
And I'm guessing that you and them, because you're working in these, you're directly impacting and working with families and children, that you're constantly writing down, "Ooh, let's do that. Ooh, that's great. I don't know about that one." I suspect that you're learning something new, all of you collectively, every single day.
All the time. All the it's a never ending changing thing. And just when you think you've made something idiot proof, someone goes and makes a better idiot. So it's
We're
always a
not going to
great
talk
time.
about politics, but still, that's when my brain just went. I just posted on LinkedIn. I'm evoking the Thanksgiving table for the rest of the year. No politics, no religion.
Yes.
Leave me alone. I'm taking the year off.
Oh, we all need a break. It's just too out of control.
Really is. So is there anything that you have learned that you thought, oh, I knew this, like you said, idiot proof. Is there anything that you learned that said, oh, that was so glaringly obvious. How did I miss that?
I mean, there unlimited number of instances to talk about that, but as a non-business owner turned entrepreneur, I've noticed so much how different your business can run with the right or the wrong people around you. And if I'm not here just for the paycheck, if I'm here for the kids and the money is a side thing, a secondary purpose, then the people that I have assisting me and running me with me, this team that I'm building, has to feel the same way. And I think this applies to relationships and romantic relationships as well as business. It just, if you don't have a partner or a team member with the same goals and purpose in mind, it can be destructive. And I've hired lots of the wrong people. I've hired some of the right people. And I think I've gotten really lucky with how many good people were just magnetically drawn to the company and that have been with me for years and years. You cannot put enough stock in the people that surround you.
I believe you. I absolutely believe in that. What were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when launching the first ABA therapy franchise? I mean, let's go with your first franchise.
Oh,
What what
what a
were the
story.
stumbling blocks?
So I'll start with the first two because they were both really exciting. The very first franchisee was actually one of my own staff members. I
Ah,
was talking out loud in the office about should we franchise this business, and I'm googling things and I'm reading books, and I'm like there's no one here to help, like I got to figure this out. What will it look like? And she was a behavior technician, and she said she's worked for several other companies and she loved the way that I did things and how the kids were treated and how they were, brought to the forefront of the purpose of the company. Profit was, we were not profit driven, but it was something that happened. And she said, if you do franchise, I want to be your first one. And I thought that
oh,
was flattering. If someone from the inside that sees all the ugly things still thinks it's good, I was flattered. So she opened at, bless her heart, the end of 2019.
oh lordy.
And shortly after, we got our second franchisee who lived in a different state than us, had never had a child with autism. She just found our website and thought, wow, this looks good, which is so brave, by the way. And so we had two, and I thought, good, we have two, we can start off small. And then COVID hit.
Right.
And I was so terrified that I had led these people into their financial ruin, that I had promised them all this greatness that you're going to love your job and you're going to make money too. And it's such a good work life balance. And then, everything that they put into it would just be gone. But I was very pleased to discover how recession proof this business really is. Because we don't rely on parents' disposable income to pay for services like a daycare or a school tuition would probably lose a lot of children because of that layoffs and parents losing their jobs. We didn't have that problem because health insurance pays us for the kids' services. So we continued to get paid whether or not dad was still working, or Medicaid pays just as much as the commercial Blue Cross Blue Shield. And we were all holding our breath for the huge hit that never came. In fact, I think we thrived during COVID because the schools that were closed in person and were trying to start up this impromptu virtual classroom. Uh,
Yeah, that
for
look how well that worked out.
Yeah, I know. But the special needs kids, they still legally had to provide them accommodations, and being looking at a screen 8 hours a day is not something that these kids could learn from. So they were actually calling us and contracting us to be virtual school sites for their special needs departments during the shutdown. And because
Uh,
we were a medically necessary service, we were able to
right.
stay open. We served these extra kids. I mean, we kind of thrived during this time.
How did that look? I mean, how were these kids able with masks, I guess, able to actually participate? How did that look?
We separated all of the kids into classrooms. It was 4 kids per classroom.
Oh,
Some were able to wear masks and some just couldn't for sensory reasons. But we
right.
had 2 full-time people just spraying Lysol all day long. And the kids stayed in their rooms until it was time to go to lunch. And we would clean between the different lunch groups, and we made it work. And it was, you know, COVID didn't affect children as much as the adults and the elderly, thank God. So we really didn't have any problems, and these kids were still able to get what they needed. And the business grew after
During COVID.
during COVID.
Uh,
And after the whole lockdown and all that was over, so many people lost their jobs and were laid off that it was the perfect time to say, I don't want to be at the risk of this happening in the future. Let me start my own business and protect myself. We sold more franchises in 2021 than I could have ever imagined because people were ready to take that leap and didn't have a stable job holding them back.
and that does make sense. I think a lot of people said, I am not going to depend on a job anymore. I'm done with
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
I look, I'm unemployable. You can't have me in your office. I don't play well with others. I run with scissors, and if you want coffee, you can get it your own darn self. I'm not going to do it. But there are people like me who were not impacted by COVID. I never got it largely because I'm an introvert and I'm rarely around live people. I'm only good with people for 59 and 3/4 minutes. I've timed it. But I never got COVID. I never got sick, and I'm cannot wear a mask. I tried it twice. I went, "Oh, no. No, 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 no. I'll just stay home. I'm not gonna do this." But I can understand why so many people just didn't go back into the workforce. I mean, they were just not willing to expose themselves to that again.
Yeah, and it ruined a lot of families, and it
Oh,
a lot of businesses went under. Some of my favorite restaurants are gone. I'm
I
still
know, here
mourning their
too.
loss.
Yeah. My favorite hamburger place, it was a little tiny hole in the wall, and they left. I went, "Oh, that was
Oh,
5 years, 6 years." I'm still unhappy about that.
still missing those
Yeah,
places.
yeah. But restaurants in particular were deeply impacted.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful to know that this business is recession resistant, if not recession proof. And we were making money and everything stayed open and no one was led to their financial ruin. So it was an eye opener that, hey, this new idea that I had, it really works and it's very successful. And I could then sell these future franchises with more confidence, knowing that we've been through the worst the world has ever seen with, very positive outcomes.
And as you've noted, autism is not slowing down.
Oh, not at all.
It didn't used to be this way.
That's so debatable, and there's so much controversy online. And
Really? See, when I
because,
was a child, I never knew of an autistic child. I would see some with mild retardation. Um, I guess it's called something else now, but even they were rare.
but there was that kid in your class that their jokes were
Yeah.
just not funny and they were a nerd, quote unquote, and
Oh,
they were just a little bit weird. That is an autistic kid. I mean, you notice very easily the very profound autistic kids, but children, I mean, my ex husband, quadruple boarded physician. He was cardiology, internal medicine, obesity medicine, brilliant doctor with the memory retention of an elephant, very autistic, but very
really?
functional. And
Right. Kind of like Elon Musk, I think.
exact Elon Musk,
Right.
Steve Jobs, like Albert Einstein, they couldn't
Einstein. Yeah,
remember their own phone number, but they knew all these math equations. So
exactly.
autism looks very different from person to person, and girls are not as likely to be diagnosed. And you'll love this, Denise,
Why? Why is that?
because because girls can fake it.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Because we mask, because we feel more obligated to do the things that are expected of us. And so
That is
girls will
true, by the
mask
way.
their symptoms as
Right.
children.
When I was a child, I went out of my way to disguise my intellect.
Yeah, well, because it's not accepted for
I
a young
know.
female child to be smarter than anyone. It's true.
And I was always the smartest person in the room. Just ask me. You know,
Just
but
ask me.
yeah. See, that makes sense. So how do you help these girls? I mean, do you notice that there's something going on? Do you help their parents kind of monitor them? How do you help?
Well, nowadays, autism is in the spotlight. It's all over the news. Everybody's talking about it. These celebrities are coming out and saying their children are autistic.
Yeah.
And so now, compared to, let's say, 30 years ago, there's more awareness. There is a younger generation of doctors that learned about autism in med school where the older ones didn't. So, are there more autistic people now, or are we just recognizing it earlier, sooner, better? Do we look at girls or assess these girls better or differently than we do with boys? I think all of these things are true. We don't know the cause of autism or what causes it. It could be that more, I mean, certainly our food is not great and there's pollution in the air and all kinds of things that can contribute to this. But I think we are definitely better at recognizing it, better at diagnosing it. People are not ashamed of it. There's less stigma. So you go out and you seek the treatment versus keeping them at home with a private nanny hidden away. So
Oh,
it's all contributes to the growing number.
right. When I was a kid, there was a boy on our block that his parents hid him, and I didn't know why. I didn't really care because he liked snakes and he liked to wrap them around me. I still hate snakes, but
But
I
that
mean, I
lack of
fainted.
fear, oh
I know.
goodness, you
I
fainted.
fainted. It was like, okay, that's it. I'm done. And I would not go around him. But I realized later that he was a serious epileptic, and his
Oh,
parents had no idea what to do with him.
and autism and
So they hid
epilepsy are
him.
very common together. So,
Oh, okay.
you think you didn't know a lot of autistic kids growing up, but you probably did.
I probably, and I'm looking back, and that's what made me think of this kid. I hadn't thought about him in God, I don't know how long, but I remember I would walk across the street to get away from that house. I was like, he has snakes. I'm not going over
Boys
there.
are icky anyway,
They are. See, now you're talking my language. But, if I now I'm going to have to, kind of go back into my memory banks, but you're right. I'm recognizing people that, and listen, we're all off in our own way. I mean, I used to tell my mother, "Did you drop me on my head or mash my soft spot too hard? What's going on here?" And she would just, "No, you're fine." I don't think so. But, and it was a joke, but sometimes I did wonder. But, honestly, I'm so glad that you are shining the light on this because it is, and you're right, it's in the news. People are paying more attention to it. I think Senator Kennedy is paying a lot of attention to it. There's help on the way, is what I'm saying.
I surely hope so. And podcasts like this also get the word out, and hopefully, more people will want to join the cause, will want to open an ABA clinic and help these kids get the care that they need, and also establish a little bit of financial stability along the way, because it can be both purposeful and profitable. So many people think that it has to be a charity or a nonprofit, or you
Right.
can't do good and make money at the same time. But there is a balance where it can be done.
You can't really serve if you don't have the money to serve with. So
That is
anybody that
correct.
tells me that, I just kind of roll my eyes at them. And I'll do
Charities
it
are
right in their
hard.
face.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't have any filters. What do you see as the most pressing gaps in autism care today? Did I lose you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think the access to care is the most pressing issue,
Okay.
because there are low quality ABA clinics out there. I mean, you can do anything good and do anything badly, right? So there are bad clinics out there that probably need to be held to a higher standard or have some higher regulations, or checks and balances on that. But if so many kids just have nothing, it's just horrible to think how many kids' lives could be so different if they had just been able to enroll. And these little ones, that from I think 2 to 7, those are the most imperative years. These kids' brains are just little sponges that absorb information so much faster than you and I could ever do. And if you miss those years on a waiting list, then you don't get that opportunity again.
And you said something earlier when you were talking about the boy who's now in high school, which is such a great story. And that I remembered that when I was a child, I observed everything. I was very quiet. I've always been an introvert. I was born that way. I'm going to go out that way. And I like it. I'm fine with it. But I watched and heard everything. And apparently, a lot of these kids can as well,
Oh
or
yes.
most of them, I'm guessing.
Oh yes. They're not stupid. They're
No,
not.
they're observing. They're
They're
observing. They're the
observing.
quiet observer in the room, in the corner.
It's just their behavior
Right.
that is different. And this is why behavior modification therapy is so effective. It's just teaching them what people expect, of course, but what do you need to do to get what you want and what you need? If you're hungry, throwing a tantrum might be effective at home with mama, but as an adult, you're going to go to work and you're going to go to the break room and just start crying. And I feel like a lot of women do this.
I've seen videos.
I feel like my husband is just like, okay, but before we talk, would you like a pizza? If everybody could learn that, how much easier would your marriage go?
Can I
Uh,
just feed you so you can't talk with your mouth full? You know,
let's
that kind
eat
of thing.
first is the
Right.
best marriage counseling advice ever. But it's true that you can't, if you don't teach them to change their behavior as children, it's so much harder to do it as an adult. And by then, they've already lost their opportunity to have working relationships or romantic relationships. And that's what we as parents want them to have. We want all those opportunities to be available to them.
Absolutely. What I have to ask you this, what roles do partnerships with universities and professionals play in your growth and your, this is important, your quality standards?
Universities don't really play into our quality standards. Again, the access to care is so in high demand and has such low supply that no regulations, no quality checks have been put into place. And this is why, as a franchisor, I invented these for my own clinics and we do quality audits and make sure everybody's doing the right thing. However, in order for these businesses to exist, we have to have staff that are knowledgeable. And to become a behavior analyst, which is our medically licensed top tier employee that comes up with the kids' curriculums and do the assessments and all that, you have to have a master's degree. You have to be board certified. And again, just like there are not enough clinics in existence, there are not enough behavior analysts in existence.
Well, and I was going to, I think that's what I was trying to get to, and I said
Mhm.
it badly, but if somebody wants to do this and they feel driven or compelled to do this, what do they go to school for? What degrees do they need?
Perfect question. So, if you want to be the CEO of the company, you don't really need anything. You can own a dentist's office today and just hire the dentist. And that's essentially what Success on the Spectrum does. The CEOs are from all kinds of different backgrounds with experience or no experience at all. The franchise team trains you all the things you need to know. The CEO is going to do payroll and hiring and firing and performance reviews. It's really all administrative work. So, as a CEO, you really don't need that background, but you do have to hire that behavior analyst with that master's degree. And I have created a university partnership program to go along with Success on the Spectrum. And we are an approved practicum site for about 10 universities right now. And they're sending all of these analyst interns to us to do their internships and their practicum hours. So hopefully, this program that we've had will also increase access to more licensed medical providers.
Again, you're brilliant.
One problem at a time, Denise.
I'm telling you, I would not have thought of that. But again, I don't know much about what it is that you're doing. I'm learning as I'm speaking with you. And the deep dive I did on perplexity, by the way, they love you over there.
Oh,
But
thank you.
how do you, and we're talking about professionals here, we're talking about, the people that you're hiring. How do you support ongoing professional development and innovation within your therapy centers? Do some of them want to go be an intern somewhere? How does that look? How do you help them?
That is where a franchise really excels. If you had a mom and pop, your entire day would be spent with the new rookies coming into your clinic, teaching them how to do their jobs, teaching them how to interact with each child because each one is different. And you don't have time to accumulate a library of training. But with a franchise, you have a whole support team, you have a whole training team. And so every center, every Success on the Spectrum center has a security system where there's cameras in every single room. And we have a parent viewing room so parents can watch what's going on with their kids, which is super great. But anytime something really good happens or really bad happens, a bad tantrum happens, someone gets, a staff member gets bit because they weren't watching very closely. Anytime that happens, they send us that video clip and we create trainings out of it. And we have this wonderful library of here's this subject, here's how to handle this situation. And we've accumulated as a whole, all 78 clinics have helped accumulate this library of learning. And I think our staff benefit from it because they're learning more. And the children benefit from working with a more knowledgeable staff member. So the quality of the services that you're giving just kind of it all rolls into one big ball and contributes one to the other. So it's the franchising team has more time and more resources to sit down and do these background things that are just packaged with a nice little bow and handed over to franchisees.
Well, that's seriously, I am impressed. I'm genuinely impressed just, by the thought and the care you've put into this and why you've done it and how you're helping, people, families, kids all across the nation. Here's a question for you though, and it's going to go back a little bit to the CEO and people's, you said a couple of times that moms couldn't work. They hadn't worked. So then you've got that resume gap. Nobody's going to hire you.
Exactly.
So franchising might be one of the things that you should really look at.
Yeah, you don't have to invent anything new. You don't have to have
Right.
any prior knowledge. You just need the willpower. I mean, it is still hard work, believe me. I'm
Oh yeah.
still, handling things on a minute by minute basis, but it's all worth it. It's very fulfilling. You're establishing your own career, but still keeping your family life.
What do you hear from some of your franchisors? Am I getting this? You're the franchisor, they're the franchisee. Which
Yeah.
is which? I get
With
those confused, but what are you hearing that just makes your heart go, oh,
I loved so I still travel to all of the grand openings. So I have flown all over the country to all of these cities and I do videos with all of the owners. And it was, I think, around the 30th location. We had quite a few that opened in Jersey, and we're one big family. And so, if one grand opening happens, everybody who's in the area, all the other CEOs, they come and attend the grand opening and help and bring flowers and balloons. And they were all sitting around this parent viewing room area, sitting on the sofas after a very long grand opening. We were all exhausted. We had been in our feet, all of our feet were hurting, and we popped a bottle of champagne. And I had about five or six CEOs, and I was just quiet. And I was listening to them joke around about, oh yeah, this that happened to me the other day. And oh yeah, I helped this staff member buy her first car. And I was really just so pleased to be helping the staff. It wasn't even about the kids that day. And they were all telling their own little stories. And it made me so happy that it's not just me anymore. It for a long time I felt like I was running on a hamster wheel, just powering this whole thing myself. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna make this happen. And finally, I was able to rest and watch them doing the work and loving it. And now this is my legacy. It's bigger than me. It's grown past me. It'll survive me. And this ripple effect is just so beautiful to watch.
so you've created a legacy?
I have impersonator syndrome so much because I'm like, did I really do this? It seems
Yeah.
like a story you would see in a movie, but yeah, it happened quickly, and I'm so incredibly proud of the work that they had to do and the bravery to join a franchise that they may not have known much about, but they're all of them, not one financial failure, all of them just so successful.
And I love what you're saying too about you don't have to be part of an autism family. You can do this if you're just a regular person like
Yeah.
me who thinks that this is a great opportunity, but also wants to do good in the world.
Yeah. A lot of our franchisees left the corporate world because they were tired of doing something meaningless or they were just tired of making their boss rich, Let's just do something for ourselves. And it works. It works either way.
When you're out there and you're talking with people, what are some of the things that you think still need to happen? Or do you even know? You're learning every day. So I guess my real question is, how do you envision the future of ABA therapy and autism support?
I read a market study that was recently published by Fortune Business Insights, and they have this predictor that the industry is just going to reach billions and billions of dollars over the next 5 years because of the increase in diagnosis. So I kind of feel like we're just Microsoft in mom's garage right now. I was the first one doing it. We're making it up as we go. But 10 years from now, hopefully, the quality of my company should make other companies compete with us. And
Right.
therefore, ABA therapy in general will get better. Hopefully, we will get some competitors in the field because there's plenty enough room for me and 10 other franchises to exist and still not have enough clinics out there. And the kids deserve it. So I know it's going to grow. There's no cure for autism, there's no quick fix. You need the therapy, you need the hard work. This is not going to go away. So it's a very stable business industry that is poised to explode.
Yeah, sadly. How can the broader community get involved or support the mission of success on the spectrum?
If you have a child with autism, I implore you to seek out ABA therapy, and you can find any of our clinics at successonthespectrum.com. But if you want to be a part of the solution, and you want to open your own clinic anywhere in the United States, you can find more information about the franchise at sosfranchising.com. We have videos, we have testimonials. We want you to visually understand what you're getting into. We have discovery days. We have a whole sales team that can talk to you because it's a commitment. It's like getting signing that line is getting married and your life is now changed if we want to make sure that this is the right life for you.
Repeat that. SOS.
sosfranchising.com.
That's what I thought you said. Okay, I'm writing that down. SOSfranchising.com. Before we wrap up, can you share where listeners can find you and learn more about your work? I mean, just give us everything you've got. LinkedIn, your website, you just gave us SOS franchising, but where else?
You could certainly find us on LinkedIn. We have the YouTube channels, we have the Spotify account, we have all the social medias that you can imagine. But the website is probably the best place to learn more information. But I do have a special offer for your guests, Denise.
Okay,
If
give me.
someone is extremely interested and you go onto our website and you hit that contact form and you mention that you learned about our franchise from Denise Griffitts, we will buy you a round trip Southwest Airlines domestic flight to Houston to spend a day with me getting a tour of a few of the locations here in the Houston area and really seeing in person with your own eyes the kids running around the clinic, what kind of rooms we have, how we decorate, how we furnish everything, what kind of activities we plan for the children, and generally what it's like to own an SOS clinic. And that in person tour should hopefully help you decide whether this business is the right fit for you.
That is amazingly, that's an amazing offer. And thank you for offering that. I can almost hear people going, "Ooh, I'm calling her right now." I'm gonna go do that.
Especially in the winter, because you can escape that cold coming down to H Town.
Yeah, I'm not that far from you. I'm in the middle of Cajun country, not so far away. And honestly, we have two seasons in this part of the country, hot and hotter and hell, and that's it. That's all we've got. Pretty
Denise,
much.
you are not Cajun. Are you serious?
No, I'm not, but I live in the middle of it.
Ah,
You know, people
well,
say, "Oh, you have a Southern accent." No, I don't. I have a
you really don't.
drawl.
I'm
Accents
from
are
Lafayette.
regional. Are
I'm
you?
from,
And I knew
yes.
that because I saw your 337 area code. I went, "That's my area code."
Yes. So
So
all these little Cajun girls running around making a difference
I
in the
know.
world.
No, I'm not Cajun, but I've been here long enough that I'm Southern by, choice anyway. But people will say, "Oh, you've got the prettiest Southern accent." I have a drawl.
No.
Accents are regional, and I don't sound like I'm in Cajun country, but I can cook like I am.
Oh,
Listen,
great.
oh, I know. I made gumbo the other day. It was go
Ah,
outside and kick your tires good.
mm,
So before we wrap up today, any final thoughts and anything that you think our audience really needs to know about you?
not about me, but know about yourself. Making money is not enough. It comes, it goes, and when you die, you can't take it with you. So, whatever you do with your life, whether you're employed or you become the employer, find something that makes you proud. Find something that makes a difference in the world, that leaves the world a better place than when you arrived. And with that fulfillment, with that purpose, happiness is inevitable.
Absolutely. Nicole, thank you so much. I have enjoyed this conversation more than I can even express. I've been taking notes like crazy, and I will be sharing it like crazy. So come back anytime you want.
Oh,
If you've got anything going on that's new, stay in touch, and I'll be sure to get it out to our audience.
thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. So listen, everybody, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to thank Nichole Daher. She's a founder of Success on the Spectrum, and apparently we're neighbors. We're not that far away from each other. And that's the first ABA therapy franchise in the United States. And Nicole turned her own challenges as an autism mom into a nationwide movement for transparency, parent involvement, and this is important, evidence based care. And her story is a powerful reminder that purpose can grow from frustration and fear, I think, and that business success can serve a mission that is far greater than just profit. So, thank you for joining us for this inspiring conversation about turning personal challenges into meaningful impact and legacy, franchising for good, and building success that truly serves others. Be sure to subscribe to your Partner in Success Radio so you don't miss conversations like this and with experts who help you grow your leadership, your strategies, and yourself. I am Denise Griffitts, and I will see you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Nicole, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.